All right, everybody. Welcome to the mid-season finale of Fool's Bounty. We have with
Woo!
us Damian playing Carib, NerdTots Shay playing Amon.
Yeah.
Zori13 is your DM, and we're just going to jump right into it. So, at the end of last session, Carib got his hand on a pretty good deal of some health potions he got from a guy in an alley for 25
I
gold.
like it when you use the quotes.
You bought some.
Some shady ass potions.
Yes, potions. Meanwhile, Amon had crawled himself back to the Tavo Noctis base after getting fucked up by an old lady and her cat.
Yeah. Cat lady beat your ass.
You got thrown out of the shop by a cat and an old lady.
Look at that.
You remember a lot of things. You remember when he passed out.
As the DM, you don't remember a lot of
Oh,
things.
there was one thing I don't remember. Okay,
You didn't remember a whole episode, you son of a bitch.
I was sick. Anyway, so we're gonna go and jump. Basically, gonna start where Amon and Crib left off. So, Crib, after you got the potions, you went ahead and you knew where Amon was going. You followed his blood trail back to the base. You made your way there, and you might as well take a quick power nap before you guys decided to head out. Amon, you were already there, and during this time when you got back to your room and fell asleep, just to kind of go ahead and roll. You're gonna take a short rest, so you can roll your hit dice, and during this time, while you're having this rest, you find yourself back inside that infinite staircase. Except this time, you don't hear the whispers, you hear one solid voice. And it's different than the last time you heard it. This one is telling you in particular, welcome. You and I are going to be good friends.
Stranger danger?
Maybe. However, just know this. You're just running in the staircase?
I start running up the staircase, even though it goes on and on. I'm just going.
So you take off sprinting for about a good 10 minutes, you feel, and you're like, okay, good. And
God damn it, I made it nowhere.
When you stop and take that breath, you hear again, you realize wherever you run, I run. We're together at this point.
So does that mean you're tired too?
Oh no, we use your body, of course.
God damn it!
But I will say this:
if you're not tired, help me out here. My leg, I can't feel my legs.
I will say this: if you ever need me, just say my name and I'll be there.
Say my name. Say my name. I don't know your name.
You can call me whatever you wish. And that's
whatever
when
it's a bit sad.
It's
a bit sad that I sang the song in my head right before he sang it because I knew what he was going
to. That's the only place to go with that, you know. There's nowhere else to really go. So as he's saying that, your short rest comes to an end, and you kind of come out of it there, and you know your health is back. You feel that your wounds have closed, but you still don't feel the sense that you got a proper sleep. Like you still feel that grogginess, but you're able to put it past you and you're able to continue with as if you got the full benefits of a short rest.
Well, goddamn, that was weird.
So, Crib, in about an hour or so, you're sitting there, you're kind of getting some food, kind of getting refueled and whatnot. And Amon, comes out of his room and he meets you in the main hall there, nice and rested. And you guys were previously going to head out into you're following the trail that you guys had kind of found out before, the little clues and whatnot of where you're going to go. So you're free to go and choose. Amon's now there with you in the main corridor.
Did you have a good rest? Because I had a weird dream.
Was it about cats?
No, but fuck that cat lady.
Mm-hmm.
I was just running up a stairs and it just kept going and going and going and never ended. I don't know what was going on. I just kept running and running. And then when I got tired, somebody said, say my name, say my name, say my name, say my name, but never told me his name. And then I kept running. I was yelling. Jesus, help me, Jesus. It went on like that for 15 minutes. I got exhausted thinking about it again. I'm gonna go lay down.
Maybe it was just your subconscious telling you to get more cardio.
But look at me. I'm fit as a fiddle. Look at. Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, well, I don't know what to tell you. You're running from a voice in your head. Sounds like you can't really escape that.
I hear voices in my head.
Huh.
Yeah, that
Wait a
sounds
minute.
about right.
This is the first time you ever heard voices in your head, or is this a normal thing?
Yeah, there's a couple of voices in there that talk constantly.
Well, then I wouldn't worry about it.
No, I'm not gonna kill him. I don't know what's going on.
Did you suddenly become a schizophrenic? I'm sorry.
A little bit, just to fuck with me.
Caught me off guard. My bad. I don't mean to.
Gotta keep you on your toes.
I figure there's something that he's listening to. I mean, hell, some of the decisions you make can't all be one person's.
We just sit around in a circle playing rock, paper, scissors. Who's gonna take control every now and then?
Yeah. All right. Well then, how do you feel?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm a little tired thinking about it, but I'm all right.
So you ready to listen? I've got while you were
Napping?
napping and fighting, recovering from a cat kicking your ass. I did manage to procure some potions, so I do have some.
Where did you get these potions from?
It's a good source. It's a hookup. Don't worry about it.
I don't feel like you're too sure about these things. Have you tried one? Did it taste like what the kids are calling it? Mountain Dew?
No. I did taste one, and I've tasted the dew off of a mountain, and it's basically water. And this taste it definitely has a distinct taste.
You tasted the dew off a mountain?
Yeah, it's called snow
what
water.
Kind of dew
coming down
tasting?
Condensation off of a mountain.
Was it deer dew?
Rainwater.
Was it bear dew?
No.
Was it Eskimo dew?
No. So, anyways,
was it my dew?
Do we need to? I probably have had your sweat in my mouth. That's just a sad truth when you were carrying me.
Probably not the only thing you had in your mouth for me. It's all right.
Yeah, I have no idea what you did while I was
sometimes it kind of slithers out and catches people by surprise.
Yeah, no, that's not happening. We got to check out this town. You do remember the town?
What town?
Remember, there's a town, has a church. This thing's been attacking churches. There's a big city.
Back there again?
No, not the one we just came from. There's another one.
Oh, all right, let's go. I'm following you.
It's really not that far. But do we need anything else? Do you need any other supplies? Anything that you might, do you need? I don't know.
So Amon, quick point of order. So the town that you guys are going to, you know this town. This is the town that you're actually from, where your orphanage is from.
Oh, all right.
So, what was the name of the town? Sorry, not a game.
It's called Bale. Bael.
So we're going to this town called Bale. They said that there's a church.
What? Hold on, talking about Bale? Bale got attacked. I told them sons of bitches to freaking
we don't know.
Guards out.
We don't know if it got attacked. It's just one of the options where the guy with the fur, the big guy, he might hit. He's not going to hit this town. There's too many. That's the
town I'm from, though.
You're from that town?
Yes, I'm from Bale.
Are you welcome back there? I mean, is it safe to go there?
Absolutely.
You mean to tell me you didn't just steal and rob from everybody in that town and
we just can't go to certain areas of that town, but sure, I'm allowed back.
Such confidence.
I want an insight check whether or not he's actually lying to me or not.
The statute of limitations has passed on some of the stuff.
Go for it. Roll an insight real quick.
Like, I need to know if he's actually had any kind of.
Come on. Knowing my character, you know I got into some trouble.
I know you got into trouble, but now 16.
You got a 16.
Oh, huh?
You got a 16.
Yeah, I know I got a 16. So
it popped up on my screen.
You're gonna have to tell me something more than
you.
With can I roll against it?
You can if you want to.
I just don't want to tell him every secret.
Oh no, it's fine. You're not going to tell him any. I wouldn't force that upon you.
Right.
But if you want to,
cool.
If you're cool with the 16, I can kind of give a brief thing. Or if you want to roll a pose, then depending on what you get, I can just bullshit for you.
Oh, what do I need to roll?
Just a straight D20. Actually, no. I'm sorry. Deception. If you want to try and lie to him.
17, bitches.
17.
Oh,
Okay.
man.
So you look. Carib is really looking at Amon. It's like, he's probably not allowed back there. And you're looking at his eyes, and his eyes are not faltering. He's like, yeah, there's some parts that, I might not be the favorite, but I can go back. And that's what you glean from that insight.
All right. Are we alone?
Yeah. There's no one else really in the main hall. Everyone
That
else kind of, it's midday, so everyone's doing stuff.
that what was it? That was it? That hammer thing that we took from
Oh, the pickaxe, the
the
hammer
pickaxe.
Uh,
It does have symbols on it, right?
Correct, it does.
Are those arcane symbols or are these magical symbols or something like that?
They just kind of like with the time you've had to look at it while Amon was taking a snap. They're not magical by any means, but it is a form of. It looks more like along the lines of family crest, the way that's inscribed.
Right. Okay.
okay, I got a question for the DM. So with that dream that I had, that space I was in, is that connected to the flame that crawled up my hand?
The staircase.
The guy speaking.
And you can roll
Billie Jean.
a religion check.
He said whenever I need him, he's there.
This is true, but you're trying to find out when he came, or if it's connected anyway. So that's going to be through other means.
I'm guessing that's 10.
10. So
Yeah.
you're thinking back as far as the place and the voice you've heard, as well as whatever you touched, and you feel like there's something there, but you remember that you were in that place before you ever touched that flame, and you've heard and experienced other things aside from that, again, before you've touched that flame back then. So there might be a connection, but you can't really find where that connection meets.
Cool. Because I just remembered about that thing. Proceed.
All right. So you guys,
how far is your town?
It's about a day.
it's about 2
About a day.
hours.
All right.
It's about 2 hours.
It's about a day.
Okay. Well then I guess we better get going then.
Can we find some horses this time? Because I'm tired. Remember, I told you I was dreaming of running, and I'm still tired from that.
We just walked 2 days in and out of town, and we've had a short rest. You mean to tell me you can't just hoof it for a day? We don't have. We have, and he starts looking at his money real quick, and let me look at my money to see actually how much money I have. We have some currency. I don't know how much it is to rent a horse. I'm not
I
familiar
got
with this thing.
95 gold.
Oh,
I'm
well
pretty
then,
sure we can
as
rent
long as
out
we're
a
not
goddamn horse.
as long as we're not stealing them, I don't mind renting a horse.
I go to the main guy
Well,
of the guild.
okay, before we get there, so as you guys are having the conversation, as far as like looking through your gold and having the conversation of horses,
God damn it, the damn bookie's coming.
no, Amelia walks up. The ice mage that you encountered before that turned you into a cockroach. She actually walks up, reading a book, and she overhears your conversation. And goes, you guys are headed over to Bale?
Yeah. Yes, we are.
Okay. I was actually going there myself. I'm looking just to procure some more ingredients and components. Do you mind if I tag along?
I don't know. The last time we've been around, you turned me into a cockroach.
Yeah, and I got my ass chewed out for that last time, so I'm trying to play
Hold on,
nice
you got
now.
your ass chewed out? Like softly or a
And
little rough?
this is why you got turned into a cockroach.
Listen, if you're gonna tag along, you're gonna tag along with all of these.
I
Amelia,
mean,
listen, I would love for your company, but unfortunately, I'm stuck with him and his mouth. And
It's all right. I'll be quiet. You can come.
If you can promise to not turn him into a roach, because I kind of need him on this next thing that we're doing. Yeah, I mean, sure.
well, I can promise not to turn him into a roach. That's fine.
Can you promise also
Turn
not
me
to kill
into
him?
nothing.
Well, I
Can you
can't kill him anyways. He goes against our own guild. If I
Okay.
kill him, I'm extradited for my own well-being and livelihood. So,
All
no,
right. Well, then, since you're no roach and no killing, I'm pretty sure you have some other things up your sleeve, but at least I've eliminated the two that I know of.
of course. So, you guys looking for uh, faster
Coffee?
means of transport?
Yeah, I mean, it's a day out, and so we walked it the last time, and we'd rather, there's a sense of urgency.
I forgot to tell you.
But
It's not a day out. It's 2 hours.
you son of.
You fall for a lot of his things. It seems.
Well, since he's basically full of shit all the time, it's just hard picking through the shit to find the truth.
So
Makes
you
it's
sense.
pick through my shit?
It's just a big pile of 6-foot walking shit, and truth comes out every now and then. So
Because
I could have let you keep thinking that it was a day out.
not with her around, apparently. Someone must be a little intimidated.
Nah, I think she's cute.
I will disregard the compliment. But I have some means of transport. We can get there a little bit, probably within 45 minutes to an hour, so about half the time.
Okay, I mean,
That works for me.
hey, listen, Amelia. Full disclosure, the town that we came from, there's said that there might have been a guy who might have been causing some serious trouble, burned down the church, and since we're going back to Amon's hometown, we figure that might be a potential target for this guy. So there, I know you're going to get supplies, but if this guy does happen to show up, I'm just letting you know, full disclosure, he might be something that might get in your way.
We're gonna have to kick his ass, and what he's trying to say in a long way around it. We're gonna need your help kicking his ass.
Well, I'm not. He's not a bounty officially, although they are collecting information on him.
Okay. I do know who you're speaking of. I've actually had to go and help a few cities that he's hit before with just some minor rebuilds and things. Seeing as he's not an official bounty, I can just provide you guys some backup if he does show. If he does try and come after myself, then of course that's when I will fully get involved. But yeah, that's not a problem. It won't be that big of a deal.
What if I offer you 10 gold to help
You,
if need be?
you can keep your money. It's fine.
Well, bitch, I'll try to help.
Anyway, should we get going?
Yeah, I think that'd be a great idea. Before he says anything else, that'll get us stuck here.
Okay. So she just used you to follow her, and she actually leads you through one of the doorways you haven't gone through towards the back yet. Through that door, it kind of takes you through like a few different hallways that you've yet to explore, and one of them actually leads into an open stables. Unfortunately, there are no horses there, but there is a carriage, which she gestures. Go and hop on real quick.
Uh, okay, it's a carriage.
Is she about to turn herself into a horse?
I'm not even gonna ask. So I open the door and I start to
I've
hop.
been with anticipation. I'm going, I think she could turn herself into a horse. I want to see it.
I get in more tentatively and just kind of look around, looking for what's going on.
It's just like one of those. It's one of those standard caravans with like a canvas top and has like some things inside of there. She actually stands up into the driver's seat and sits down. And from her pocket, she pulls a small mouse and she has him run down through the reins. She starts whispering some incantation. You see her just kind of glow like this faint white, and the mouse turns into a horse. She polymorphed the mouse into a horse.
It's a fucking horse.
That's pretty convenient. Pocket horse.
I got a pocket full of sunshine.
When you are not one inclined to fighting hand in hand, you have very good ways of getting out of things quickly. So, let's keep.
That's a really cool trick.
You got a point there, sister.
All right, and so she goes ahead and she uses just a simple thing to throw the doors open, and she begins leading the carriage out to the main streets and down through. During this time, we have a little bit of downtime if you guys want to talk or whatever on the way to the city.
Actually, I want to talk to Amelia. Hey, Amelia.
Oh shit!
Can I climb up there and just ask you a question real quick?
Yeah, not a problem. What's up?
So I kind of climb up and get next to her. Hey, listen, I'm not very familiar with the town, and I'm really not that good with, you know, potions and stuff. But I open up my vest and I pull out one of the vials. Can you? Is there any way of you checking this out and making sure it's not going to turn me into a toad or something? This was a healing potion, but I have no way of checking it.
And she kind of looks at you and she grabs. She goes, "I'm not an alchemist per se. I'm more in the arcane knowledge, but I can take a quick look." And she while driving the carriage, so she's holding up into the sun and looking through the vial. She goes, "Its coloration is pretty dull and even at times murky. Um, I wouldn't say this is the best of quality. I can't tell you if it's how well it'll work, but it's something. It may help, but it's pretty poor quality."
All
So
right.
what you're saying is that ain't gonna help us with shit.
Well, it might. I don't know. I'm not an alchemist. There may be some other components that have turned it this murky color, but from my experience, the potions are a little bit more vibrant. You can tell that they're going to help you live, if you know what I mean.
Right. Right.
You
Right.
got ripped off.
Gotta,
Where did
gotta
you
hate that guy.
purchase these from?
Oh, I got a hook up next to a store. I don't. There's nothing to worry about. It's just one of those things. But
He got
thank
it
you.
from some riffraff in the alley.
Only because he got his ass kicked by a cat.
So you admit you got it from a fucking alley, you dumb baby.
So you
Yeah.
got this from the web district, and the
Yeah.
lady and
Well,
the cat. I'm assuming you're speaking of Madame Louise. Really mean old lady, very wrinkly, has a cat on her
I,
on her.
I barely got a chance to see her. All I saw was her work, and Amon crawling down the street, and
That sounds like her. She's actually a lovely lady. So it's not that odd that she would kick you out of all people.
hear that, Amon?
I mean, I'm not everybody's cup of tea.
Clearly, you're no one's cup of tea. But I
Listen,
digress. Hold on, I'm supposed to be on my best behavior. I don't want to get any more paid doc from Sodarim, so I'll play nice. I'll play nice.
we're
All
gonna end
right.
up becoming friends. Watch.
We won't.
Alpizar.
We won't. But
You say
I
that.
think so. And she's
Okay.
just putting on her biggest fake smile that she can.
And I'm looking at her with my biggest face on. You're gonna die.
Yeah. So tell me, what kind of bounties do you normally go after?
I normally go after semi-simple ones. I'm not any type of martial expert by any means. Recovering artifacts, even some simple. I've taken some bodyguard duties only because I have very good defensive capabilities. However, my thing is mainly procuring lost and or stolen knowledge and lost and or stolen goods in general.
Oh, that's very interesting. I look over at Amon, and I look at that, kind of like, kind of giving him like the okay, yeah,
Sure,
you did, yeah,
sure,
all right,
mm, sure.
hmm, okay.
Anything else you guys want to ask her at all?
Um, listen, speaking of lost items, we happened to find an item in our last journey, and it's got something to it. We're wondering if maybe it might catch a good penny, or if we should just keep it as a keepsake. It's one of our little. We're keeping it like a first adventure token and all. Um, would you know anything about like family crests and stuff?
I do have a few tomes of crests back at the guild hall. Because obviously different artifacts belong to different crests, and I've gone through families. I've got passed through many hands, so knowledge is power. So if you guys need it identified or trying to find what family this crest belongs to, I could potentially help them get back.
And in all your travels, have you ever heard of a flame attaching itself to someone and crawling up their arm and possibly taking them over. Shut up.
I mean, there are flame elementals, but those are more of entient beings already. As far as something entering someone, that's probably along the lines of some form of possession, soul snaring, soul ripping,
I need an exorcist now.
symbiotic parasite. So you might want to consult someone. I've really
Told
only
you were
taken a
pregnant.
semester abroad and kind of delved into some clerical things, but it was literally just for some extra credit in my youth. That's about it.
I
I
need I need an exorcism like yesterday, Dan.
I told him he was pregnant.
Okay.
You're gonna be the daddy.
Okay.
He went and touched some sort of spectral looking thing, and he couldn't tell, but I clearly watched it go up his arm and in through his eye. He's possessed.
And she kind of looks back at Amon like, uh, good to know. And she sits just a little bit more to the side so that way she can keep her peripheral on you instead of her back to you. She goes, good to know. Well, we're pulling up around for
Unfortunately,
bail.
whatever possessed him didn't make him any less annoying. I apologize.
Clearly. Well, here's bail. And she starts cresting over this final hill, and you see it's a relatively smaller town. You see a few fields around. From some farm structures. You see the main church, which is also the orphanage, kind of not in the center, but towards the outer central part of the town itself, and just a few random skirted buildings around. But she pulls the wagon up through, and she actually pulls it up into right in front of the church, and goes, "Yeah, the main mother here is where I actually get most of my ingredients from. You can get many components from the town and from Lamin itself, but our guild doesn't have the best reputation with merchants, so outsourcing is usually the best, and she's quite the lovely lady."
So our guild in our hometown not good with merchants, but here maybe we could procure something like maybe a better health potion.
Well, they sell more of the supplies, not the actual concoctions already done, which is why I come here. There's no extra steps for it. I just get what I need. And when she's speaking about this, Amon, the woman she's talking about, which is Mother June, um, you recognize this name because that's the woman who, quote unquote, raised you in the orphanage with a lot of the other people.
Miss Jones here.
Yeah, I mean she owns this place.
She's still alive. That old sack of shit is still alive.
And
I guess you guys didn't get along.
When you say
I
that,
love the lady.
one of the front doors she opens goes, "Who are you calling an old sack of bones?" And when you look, Mother June is saying there, now from Carib's standpoint, this is an odd conversation because you're saying an old sack of bones. When he looks, he's seeing a woman barely out of her 30s with that is very attractive. But she is well into her 70s.
Oh, as he's looking at her and she comes out, I'm jumping out the carriage and running towards her.
She goes,
"You old sack of shit, you still alive?" I go give her a big ass hug.
She gives you a hug back, but before then, she just, in the back then, goes, "What have I told you about language here?"
You still weak, old lady.
But I'll still get you every time. She pulls you in for a big gun. She goes, "You haven't sent any letters since you've left the city. How's it been?"
Man, I've been getting by. It's all right. Crazy things has happened. Crazy things.
All right. Well, the kids have been asking for you, so you got some time since you're here. Say hi.
Are
Say
they
hello to
all still
everybody.
here?
But what I see you're with Amelia. She comes pretty frequent. How can I help you? How do you guys know Amelia?
Well, we're in the same. We're all three of us in the same guild, and you raised him.
Raised is a loose term. Well, he grew up here, and I was simply in charge of making sure he didn't die. So yeah,
okay.
So you could say
pretty much like you do with a puppy. You give it food and water and let it roam outside, or a goat. More like a goat.
More of a stray cat, but this one kept coming back, and she playfully pushes him onto the side. You can tell just from looking at, you can tell that she has that motherly affection towards him. but she is very just playful in her relationship with him.
All right.
What I just missed?
He was just kind of asking your quote unquote mom that she raised, and she goes, well, as much as you could raise a stray cat, basically. But he could tell that even though she was saying that playfully, that there's still that maternal instinct and that connection there behind it.
As they're talking, I'm inside talking to the little kids.
Yeah, go right ahead. So you just watch Amon just run straight off, and you hear a bunch of like kids screaming and laughing as he's, and then there's just a bunch of ruckus, and she's like, "Of course, I should have been more specific to play with them outside, but
Let's break this place up like we used to do in back in the day.
don't you dare!"
Who want to swing off the roof?
But what are you saying, dear?
Well, first of all, I apologize. I actually don't have to apologize for him. I still don't understand why he calls you so old. I mean, you look great for your whatever age he thinks you are.
That lady's a great grandma.
And she laughs at this. She goes, oh, dearly, I am quite old, and you can tell from her she is human. And she goes, I am well past any prime you would be interested or could imagine.
Well, being half elf, I'm not as young as I appear myself. So, just age is really.
How old is Amon?
Amon is, you chose what, like 20 something, roughly, in that age group?
Yeah, I'm in my mid-20s, early to mid-20s.
Yeah.
She's looked like that since I was an infant. That bitch is old. As I'm still breaking things on the inside with the kids.
And so she looks at you, Crib, and she goes, excuse him, but yes, I am well into my mid-70s at this point. However, that's none of your concern as to how I look regarding my age.
Sorry, Grandma.
Well, again, half elf, so I think you look great.
Stop hitting on my mom.
And so again, so she looks as if she's just in her 30s, but full human appearance. But from your own knowledge and your people, you might assume or get the impression that somewhere really watered down in her bloodline, there may be some elven blood, which is what's helping her stay as youthful as she looks. But for all intents and purposes, she is a human.
Understood. I'm sorry, I forgot her name.
Mother June.
Mother June. Do you like to be called Mother June, or may I just call you June?
You can call me Mother, Mama June, Mama June. It doesn't matter, sweetie.
You can call her Hag. That's what I do.
And how many times did you get stuffed in a corner with a bunch of salt in your mouth?
A lot, but it's still fun.
Does the salt work? Does it shut him up? Does the salt work?
It chokes him out for a little bit. He's probably grown a tolerance to it by now, so you might want to switch to something more on the baseline of alkalines. But yeah.
As they're talking about that, all you hear is like plates breaking.
He's just for your knowledge, he's got gold, so anything he breaks, just charge him for it.
Oh, even if he didn't have gold, he was still going to make me some replacement plates.
Gotcha.
But don't I send money to this orphanage?
You have, but since you started the your initial bounty, which took you almost like a week, you haven't sent something. Oh yeah, during your training too, yeah. So that's why she was like, you haven't sent anything for a while.
Yeah. You on credit right now. You got no credit.
Credit is still credit.
Listen, Miss June. I just want to give you a heads up that there's been a pretty mean-statured looking man going from town to town, burning down churches. And have you heard any whispers of anyone like that in this area?
Not to my knowledge. It's been pretty quiet. No one really comes here except for some of the people from Lamit. We get a few traders that pass by here and there, and every now and then one or two different clergies may stop by. But no, we haven't had any news of that, and it's pretty quiet around here, honestly.
Anybody that comes and goes from the town very often? May have traveled to another town recently, maybe.
You have Amelia. You have some of the other mages from some of the other guilds, and there's even a few of the merchants that actually come here and actually procure some of their stuff for their own items and stores as well. But those are really the only frequent people that come. Everyone else that comes is normally just passing through.
All right. Happen to know anybody who sells health potions in this area?
Don't you come from a city that we mainly supply the shops in Lament with
Yeah,
quite a few.
that's a sore subject. No, let's not worry about that.
We'll tell you what. Next time
Mama
you're
June, ain't the merchant still? We could get the components like 3 blocks over.
Actually, I have alchemist supplies tools. Do I
So
not
yeah,
have
so I mean, yeah, you can buy the supplies down the road. You know where they are. And she goes, you know what? How about this? Because you've been with him. Next time you're in the city, head up the Black Cauldron. It's the main area in the central part of Lamet. Let them know that Mama June said to give you a good discount, or there will be trouble next time he comes.
Oh, I appreciate that, Mama June, and
And you
maybe
remember,
next time I'm around here, maybe I can treat you to dinner for the hookup.
Swear to God, if you don't stop hitting on my mama.
and when she mentioned Black Cauldron, you do specifically remember that was the first merchant you were talking
Oh, I
to.
remember Black Cauldron. I didn't.
Yeah,
You
it
had
was
to.
very.
No need to recap that motherfucking price
So she
point.
she looks at you as you say that she again chuckles at it very modestly. She goes, "It's not a problem," and in fact, you guys can have dinner here tonight if you guys are staying for the evening.
Woo. Are you
Um,
making my favorite dish, old lady?
I'm not making any of your favorite stuff. You'll eat what is on the menu.
Oh, I
It's
can't even give her.
it's still his favorite dish.
I can't even give respect in my own home.
And so Amelia walks up and she's like, "I'm gonna go grab my supplies. But, Mama June, do you need anything? Anything I can do while I'm here?" She goes, "No, dearie, that's fine. Thank you though." And Amelia goes, "I'll be back in like 20 minutes, guys. So just don't die, I guess."
I mean, no promises.
Yeah, I would have normally said, "Hey, I'm not gonna die," but
No promises. Mama June's been trying to kill me for years.
Lies and slander, child. Lies and slander.
Is it, old lady? Is it?
Have you died yet? No, you've been in my care with all these other kids. You're fine.
You've poisoned me 12
You
times.
poisoned yourself.
Listen, it was your cooking.
And you decided to add a random spice you found in the back. That's not my problem.
Listen. You never know if you're gonna like it unless you try it.
And clearly you tried to die twice. You must like trying to die.
I
keep putting out
mean,
this spice that he tried. I may want to keep some on hand.
He just, honestly, as a kid, he just grabbed random weeds and shit from the back. I mean, she kind
Like
of
that way?
gets stuff from
Like that way?
anywhere she found. Just look around, and if it isn't in a farm, he probably put it in there.
listen,
Good to know.
you find the best cooking that way.
So we'll go and jump scenes from here. So she kind of brings you guys in. You guys have been there for a good few hours. Amon's play with the kids is kind of like settled down, but you kind of seeing Amon in this different setting and seeing how some of these younger, kids of different races and in general really looking up to Amon and kind of just like enjoying him being there again. It's a different atmosphere than what you're used to seeing Amon in. But the same banter between him and Mama June has been going on for the last 2 hours. It has not stopped, and it's at this point you're catching on that it's a kind of game that they play to pass the time in general when they're with each other.
Mama June, you remember that guy ran off from you? That pastor guy that you kept saying? Yeah, nobody was gonna get into my mama.
You mean the one that I chased out?
No. I don't remember it like that. I remember me chasing him out. I saw him trying to go into your quarters, mama.
Oh, no, you're right. He tried to come into my quarters, and he got beat for it because he was also trying to siphon gold from the orphanage. However, when he was chased off, you ran after him because you thought he was your dad.
He looked just like me.
He looked nothing like you. He was a halfling.
I seen gold.
He
was a halfling. He was a halfling thief. He probably just admired the guy.
Yeah, a little bit. I seen gold. I ran after it.
I wouldn't put it past them. But at this point, it's the sun is kind of cresting down over the hills and the valleys and stuff, and Amelia's ready to come back as well. So you guys are kind of like just hanging out in general. And
Well,
she's
I can
like,
see in my head as Amon chasing after him, Daddy, Daddy, and dude running faster. I'm
um,
not your dad.
so Amelia kind of, she looks up from some of the books that she's been reading to some of the kids, and she's like, "Do you guys? I mean, do you guys have a plan? Are we like staking this place out for this individual that you guys have been hearing about, or what's the plan here, guys?"
Um, to be honest, I figure that he came into the other town. He attacked at night, so we figured we at least stay the night, see if anything happens, and maybe check out the town in the morning. And if nothing else, I'd like to at least leave a means of communication or something. I don't know. You guys, do they got pigeons? I mean, or is it letter carrier or anything around here? Um,
Pigeons.
So
something.
the couriers normally come in the very early morning, and they'll do stuff. However, if we need to get a message out quick, I can help with that. I can send a message back to the guild members. So okay, so if this guy normally attacks at night, or should we be? Do you guys want to like set up a patrol? Do you guys want to set up just like a vantage point,
Yeah,
or are we just gonna
I'd
kind of
like
sit
to.
here?
No, I mean, I'd like to. This is the church. This church typically has a steeple or some sort of a tower or bell tower or something, right?
Yeah. So yeah, and Mother Juice, yeah, there's the bell tower up above. You can just easy stair access if you need it.
All right. Do you have any kind of like night watchman? Someone who turns, any kind of any patrol of any kind of security in this town at all?
We have some of the just general individuals of the town. They do volunteer their time to kind of check out different, do their rounds. Really, it's main around their own perimeter, but they kind of keep an eye out on everything. But I wouldn't say we
Or
have like a militia presence or anything.
do you have torches, like torches on stands? Anything that we can make torches out of? Because what I'd
And
like to do is just set up a symbol. Anyone sees, I could write up a description, paste it around town. Anyone sees this guy approaching, light a torch, and hopefully we can get, everybody aware of this guy very quickly. I mean, he's dangerous. Anyone who stands between him and the church is probably going to get injured. And so I would like to at least let your town know.
and so she looks at you and she kind of looks at Munch and goes, "Amon, he's very condescending a little bit, isn't he?" And she kind of like looks at the wall,
You
and
got no idea.
there's a lantern, like a full thing that she just kind of like grabs one of this like stone, almost like a runic stone at the bottom, and twists it, and it just lights up a flame. She goes, we're we may be small, but we're progressive. Lanterns, thing of the past. We have runes."
In his defense, I didn't tell him anything about this town, but he's kind of a douche when you get to know him.
I see. I see. No
Right?
worries. All is forgiven in the eyes of the one above.
Uh,
Oh, Billy's up there again.
You know
God
that's
damn it, Billy, get
you know
down
that's
there.
where he sleeps. And you
uh,
look, and there's just like fat little gnome kid just in the rafters.
all right. Okay. Well, my apologies. Small town. So it's just, didn't know what you got. Um, so you can set up a warning system fairly quickly. I mean, if we spread out the word through the town, my main thing is that if this guy's coming, I'd like to know, not have him meet us here at the church, but rather maybe someone sees him at the outskirts of town and they might be able to warn somebody before he gets here.
So
No,
we
it's
do.
gonna take forever.
So we do have an alarm system. Really, if you see something, you run to the church and you ring the bell. That's how it's
Right.
worked. That's how it always
And
works.
do you want to,
Um,
as a respected person of the town, do you want to call the town over and tell them about what's going on before it gets too dark? Is there something that we can do to do that? Just to, you know what I mean? Because if this guy shows up, the town people should know.
and she goes and walks over to the wall where next to where the lantern is, and there's like this stone surface that has like etchings in it, and she just kind of like presses a few of the runes, and you see it light up, and she pulls this thing off the side of it, and she goes, "Everybody, just not to alarm, but we got a few gentlemen here from town looking to keep us safe. if you guys see anything or see anyone unusual, do you have a
A
description?
large man covered in fur and
Large
chains,
man covered in fur and chains. Anything else?
lots of tattoos.
Lots of tattoos.
As as she says, tattoos. No, don't cover it up. I I
Lots of
go, and
tattoos.
we're gonna party at the church. Everybody, come down, come down. We got drugs.
As you can hear him on his back, disregard him and his imbecility. But yes, if you guys hear and or see anything, just ring the system. Let me know so I can sound the alarm for the rest of town and kind of get things going. Okay. And then you guys, she hits another button on the receiver, and you hear just a macabre. Got it. No problem. No worries, Mama June. See you in the morning. And she goes, "Thank you, dearies," and hangs it up. And the runes go back into just no more glow.
I'm gonna say, Miss June, it's a pretty impressive system you've got there.
We got one more comment to say about my mama.
Sweetie, where are you from? She's
Oh,
looking
well,
at you, Crib.
Huh?
She's looking at. She's
yeah,
asking
yeah.
Crib.
Oh
Oh,
no, I mean, don't get me wrong. We use magic in all sorts of mannerisms and such, but I just didn't expect it in such a quaint little town. I mean, it's impressive your progressiveness out here. That's all. I'm just, you know,
Well, when you're small and you fend for yourselves, you and you're doing business with merchants and cities, you pick up a few items, a few tricks, and a few things. So we're small. We're not completely broke and incomprehensible, but we get by. We make do.
I meant no offense. It's, I come from Triton, and things are just
Oh yeah,
busier.
very grand and immaculate there.
Yeah, I gotta say though, seeing you with these kids and how you handle them on, it's
Mama June, I think we're gonna need him to go sleep outside. I don't trust him.
every
Well,
yeah,
just so you
it's
know, you
just
don't have a bed here anymore either, so you're both
Hold
sleeping
on,
outside.
what the hell?
You're
actually, if
not
it's
it.
all right with you, I'd probably like to just have access to the tower. And is there any kind of area I can put a little pallet or something up there?
Yeah. Yeah. Once you go up the stairs, there's a full, about
Screw of that.
8 by 8
You
foot
wanna run
area.
that one by me again?
I want to be
You
able to watch,
you
stand
have
watch.
passed the age of which you are now an orphan taken in by the orphanage. Therefore, you no longer have a bed here. We've talked
I'm gonna
about
set this
this.
goddamn place on fire then. If I
You
don't got a bed, nobody got a bed.
you're the one covering the insurance. You know we got under your name because of all the other fires you done started.
You got a point.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just say your bed on fire.
It's still insured. You think I haven't insured everything? I know you.
Mm.
Who do you think you learned it
Billy,
from?
move over. I'm going up there to sleep with you.
My boy's knocked out.
Yeah.
Sleep
So
hard.
if it's okay with you, Miss June, I'll sleep in the tower and just keep an eye on you and make sure that everyone here is, at least for tonight. An extra pair of eyes doesn't hurt, right?
By all means, if you guys are here to keep these children safe, yeah, I'm all for it. But with that, and she starts like rounding up the kids as the last bit of sunlight is fading through the windows. It is time for bed, everybody. Let's go. Say your goodnights and let's go. And she rushes all the kids and they'll say goodbye. Some of them are rubbing their eyes. One of them is still like red faced from when he was laying on the table where Amelia was reading her book to him. And they all kind of go into their rooms and knock out. So it is you, Amon, and Amelia that are now left in the main portion of the orphanage.
Hey, Amelia, I just got to say, I am gonna probably, even though we're not gonna, we haven't really had a chance to talk much. I really do I really appreciate you being here tonight. I think it was a good call for you to come. You know,
Well, I was coming anyways, and honestly, it was kind of forced upon me by Sodarim to make nice, and so I felt this was a good way to do on both parts. And now I'm having a sleepover here, so it's great.
yeah. I mean, it's only a 45-minute ride. I mean, I will leave first thing in the morning. That way you don't have to waste too much time. But so, Amon, tell me, Miss June, does she ever have any male suitors around when you were growing up?
I kind of feel like that's none of your business.
I'm just wondering if there's anybody that she may be
Oh, wait
expecting
till
to
you meet
stop
your
by.
mother so I can hit on your mother.
I haven't seen my mother in so long.
So good.
And
When we do see her, she's she's gonna meet my Peter before she meets you again. You
Amelia
want me to
So,
kind
keep
of
going?
Amelia perks up. The both of you are nasty, and she looks at you, Crib. She goes, "I expected this from him, but that woman is a member of the clergy. That was disrespectful.
Not orgy.
well,
Clergy.
well, depending on the religion, my mother was a cleric as well, and she was able to have me actually. So it just depends on the religion. I wasn't quite sure what the rules of her religion are. I don't follow religion as much.
Okay, understood. Understood. My apology for snapping at you again. Sauron, please don't be listening. So she cannot have suitors,
Oh,
or chooses not to for the sake of staying, with
Sure.
the one she chooses.
okay.
So yeah,
Stay
she
off
goes,
my
Amon,
goddamn mama.
Amon, you're still nasty.
I mean, I
Oh well, that's a bit embarrassing. I'm sorry. And all of a sudden, Curb's like changing and like he's like adjusting himself and stuff like that. He's like, he was like, damn, she was hot. Um, Thank you, actually, Amelia. I'm glad you saved me from further embarrassment. Honestly, I did not know. Like I said, and over in Triton, women and men of the cleric are allowed to have families. It's just the way it is. I did not know. I apologize.
It's his mama you hitting on. It ain't mine. Just saying,
It's not
if
really his
she,
mother.
if
I
she
mean, she,
hears
she
you,
pretty much
it's
raised
gonna
him
be a
like a
bigger
goat.
deal than if I were to. You think I'm scary? You should see Mama June when she gets mad.
Well,
Mama June. This guy's over here trying
shut.
to ask if
I
you
just I just chopped him
want
in
a
the throat.
suitor.
I just chopped him in the throat. I just quick chop in the throat.
All right, so about another
Fuck
30 minutes or so goes
friend.
by, and you see Millie kind of packing herself to the side. She goes, "All right, well, if we're doing this, she's like, I'm just gonna set up some quick some warding on my carriage, then I'll be back in, and we can start the evening." So she goes, and you guys watch her start, messing with different things in her carriage. She's messing with different parts that a carriage normally wouldn't have. From your knowledge of carriages, she has additional rooms and switches and things that aren't on normal carriages. And you see them kind of glow in different aspects, and then she walks back in. She goes, "All right, so who's on first watch, I guess?"
I'll be on
Um,
first watch.
yeah. Hey, Amon, do you
Mm-hmm.
does Mama June? I'm not gonna call her Miss June anymore. Does Mama June keep any well, like the monks? Does she keep any spirits around?
That's a Mama June question.
All right, all right.
But you won't be able to ask her until the moment.
Okay, all right, understood. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go up to the tower. Amon, if you want to take first watch downstairs, and then Amelia, since you weren't really planning on doing anything, and at this moment, if you wanted to take get some rest, we'll take first watch.
And she kind of stretched. She goes, "All right, sounds good to me. If you need me, just holler, or if I hear someone explode, then I'll wake up. Whichever happens." And she kind of finds her little spot and sets up a cot and just kind of like begins her little nap.
Hey, Amon.
Mm.
She said explode. Do you think she meant anyone touches her carriage will explode?
I don't know. Go touch it.
Yeah, no, not happening.
You got those janky ass health potions. We'll put you back together.
Yeah, no thanks.
Well, and we will never know.
All right, so you guys separate, and Crib makes his way up into the tower, and he finds himself a nice little spot, which has a decent vantage point of the road that you came into the city or the town from, as well as the road that is perpendicular to it.
Mm-hmm.
But there is kind of a blind spot immediately behind like the church area. However, downstairs, there's a back window that opens to that, which Mama G normally keeps open during the night because it gets stuffy and hot inside the orphanage. So he can see outside the back as well as the road leading into town as well.
Right. So he can see the back, and I can see mostly the front and around the town.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right. Quick question: would you say that the town, since they're so advanced for a little town, would you say that they have like lights outside of their homes, lights spilling out of the? Is the town dimly lit at night? It's like you can tell that there's some nightlife and stuff going on.
So it's not lit up enough for nightlife, but there are lanterns posted. I'd say about every 100 to 120 feet or so. There's another dim lantern that gives a nice little casting of light, where you can see the perimeter of the town by like if you're really focusing on it, and then as it gets into town, obviously the distance between them gets shorter, and there's just a nice glow to
Wow.
where you can see easily within about 60 feet or so from where you are with the light.
And then, of course, with my dark vision, I can spy into some of the shadows, and I can see pretty. I'm just trying to make sure that like
Correct.
stealthing up to me is a little bit more difficult from that high vantage point.
Correct. So with your dark vision, you can see, but keep in mind as well. Same thing with like normal vision. When you are looking at something where there's a light source around it, it is still going to be a little bit hard. Even with dark vision, it's more just black and white. So if something black is hiding in black, it is still going to be difficult to see. But yeah, you
Understood.
you can still see some of the shadows through.
Cool.
All right.
Did Mama June give us any food?
Yeah, you guys ate. She fed you guys while you were there. She, surprisingly enough, it was Amon's favorite dish. She saw a cart coming through, and she could hear Amon before she saw who it was, and she already began, preparing his favorite meal. Which, Amon, what is your favorite dish?
Porridge.
Porridge. We had porridge, and then you were delightful.
It was the best damn porridge you ever had. It was a
Okay.
it was a peach infused porridge with a little bit of nutmeg and cinnamon.
Okay. No, delightful porridge. Um,
Listen, he's crazy, but he likes the simple things in life. A reach around porridge.
Except his
And
porridge has goat milk instead of regular milk.
all right.
That's where
Well,
he splurges a bit.
I'm going to then kind of prop up my palette and then kind of look out onto the thing and enjoy the night air from up here. Amon's way down there, so it's like he's a distant voice. I'm not worried about him. And I just start pulling out Mother, and I just start, sharpening her and making sure it's an elven blade. I don't have to sharpen her, but polishing her and just kind of like, looking at my tips of my crossbows and just making sure everything's cool. I'm just kind of checking my equipment and making sure everything's tight.
Man, so Carib being up there, you're getting a nice, country breeze coming through on this summer evening, and it's a nice, quite one of the more nicer nights you've had in a good while. And Amon being back, you're like, even though she played that there's no bed for you, she still made you a nice, comfy little area to sleep in and hang out in, and it does bring back some feels. You remember there, and you're looking out the back window. And I need you both to run a perception check for me, please.
18.
18, okay.
5.
5, all right.
Perception check, right?
Yeah,
Perception.
perception.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, Amon, as you're sitting there feeling just really comfortable being back home, essentially, you're looking out and you see some movement from the back. And as you kind of get up and look out the window just to see what it really is, it's just some rabbits in the night just kind of hopping through, and you can assume to the burrow.
Shoot it with my arrow.
You shoot it from the window with your arrow?
Yeah.
All right, go for it. Shoot it.
All right, do I just roll a d20?
Yeah,
He just wants to kill a cute little bunny.
roll your
I need-
attack, your normal attack with your crossbow or your bow, whatever you have.
Move.
Alright.
6.
So you're like, ooh, notch an arrow quick, and you let it loose. And at the last moment, as the arrow is cutting through the wind, going through, the rabbit turns, and you see it just jump and kind of dodge out the way. And it looks like, like Peter Rabbit, where it does that whole like spread out jump in the air. And you swear for the faintest moment, it's like flicking you off in midair as it's falling back down. And then scurries off into the brush.
Mama June would have made some good food out of that.
Now, Carib, you're really taken aback by how surprisingly comfortable and peaceful it is here. And so for a moment there, you're really admiring mother and kind of thinking back on some memories of your own mother, and the moonlight catches it in such a wonderful way that it's dancing in a variety of colors in front of you. And for the faintest of moments, you kind of doze off, and you bring yourself back up, and you're looking around. Everything still looks the same. Don't really see much. And so this goes on for a few hours or so. It's now pushing well into the deeper parts of the night. So you're rounding around 1 o'clock or so, and I need both of you to make an additional perception check.
15.
10.
Okay. So Amon's still up. He's keeping his mind busy. He's still looking out the window, still pissed off about that damn rabbit that he missed. And he's already goes, when that bastard comes back, I'm gonna get him. And he's really focused on looking for this rabbit, but he doesn't see anything else. Everything looks nice and peaceful. Carib on the other end, he's looking through, and he's here and there. He's been dozing off. Just that breeze is hitting him in the best possible way, to where if he wasn't on duty, this would be the best sleep he could have hoped for. But he's resisting it, and for a moment, when you reopen your eyes, you could have sworn you saw out in one of the outer fields a shadow dart behind one of the crops.
I probably should have brought something up here to make an alarm without having anybody know anything. It's late. Maybe I should get Amelia woken up. It's about time for her turn anyways. I want to do just like another scan, just kind of like, rub my eyes and just do another scan, just kind of look around and see if I see anything before I leave this post to go down to Amelia and wake her up.
Yeah, go ahead and do one perception.
Damn it, 5.
So you're rubbing and you don't know what it is about this open country air that it's getting you, but you're really trying to focus. And from where you saw a shadow in the outer crop to the left hand side over here, you see almost another shadowy figure on the outer right crop now, and you see it just for a moment, and then it slowly goes out of view.
Now, Ahmad wouldn't see any of this, right?
No, so this was in the not at the main entrance, but the perpendicular road that Carib can see. You have access to see just the actual main entrance, and then the back part where Carib can't see.
Cool. So, Ahmad,
what's the travel speed if I were to how long will it take for me to go from the tower down to the first floor?
I mean, you can do that in like 2 minutes.
Okay. All right, cool. So, you know what? My mind's starting to play tricks on me in this country air. I mean, I haven't been out here and everything looks like it's moving. So I'm going to go, I'm talking to myself. I'm like, you just, come on, man, focus. Now's not the time. He's probably going to get the best sleep with that guy downstairs, but let me get Amelia. So I go ahead and, look, ignore. I know something feels weird, so I just go downstairs. I'm a little suspicious, and I want to wake up Amelia and just get him on. So I'm gonna go downstairs, and I come downstairs and I see Amon.
Amon's not downstairs.
Where's he at?
Yeah, you were. You're downstairs.
Well, he was talking. I didn't want to interrupt him.
Oh,
gotcha.
Okay, so I get downstairs and Amon's not downstairs. I see Amelia, and I know where she was sleeping, so I go over to where she's at. Amelia, I dare not touch her. I'm just.
And she wakes up slowly, and you see she has like a mean bedhead of a nest on her left hand side. Like, she's
trying not to laugh.
She's like, is it morning or is he here? And she's like trying to fix her hair.
I don't see Amon. It's late, and I'm starting to see things. I don't know if they're shadows or if I'm actually seeing anything. Um,
Are you sure it's just not Amon fucking with you? If
it
he's not here and you're seeing things, does not sound like he might just be playing hide
yeah,
and
but
seek.
Amon also in the middle of a field unless he's streaking or something like that. You know what?
These are
We were
his
gonna
his fields. I mean,
Yeah, I totally understand that, but you want to come up to the tower and just take a peek and see if you see anything? I mean, my eyes are just exhausted, and
she's like, yeah, yeah, I guess. And she goes and she, for having such a slender body, she just goes, and you just hear crack, crack as she cracks almost every bone in her body, and she's like, "Yep, no problem. I'll go up." And you see her sluggishly walking off into the area where the stairs going up were. And so, Oman, what were you doing?
So I went to where I shot the arrow. I'm looking for that fucking rabbit. He flicked me off. He must die.
All right, so you're okay. So you're
Plus,
rushing through the
I'm trying to
brush.
I'm trying to cook Mama June a nice breakfast.
Okay.
Rabbit stew.
So after your second time kind of looking through, you're really just hoping for the trap. But you before Caribbean comes down, you look back and Amelia's still sleeping. She goes, she got it. Climbs out the window and heads down to the back crops and starts going through the brush looking for his arrow and also trying to look for any signs of that rabbit's burrow. This is during the time where Carib does come down and is talking to Amelia. Now, Carib, this time, as you're looking around, you can see movement in the brush in the back window that Amon was supposed to be at, about 50 yards out.
I'm gonna go in and look out the window and investigate, and with my crossbow in my hand.
Okay, roll. Yeah, go and roll for it.
Perception.
And Amon, you are just what?
Woo, it's a nat one. Get those low rolls out now, baby. Get them out now.
So you're, from you were concerned before and you're seeing different things move, but now you know for certain there is something in that bush, and you can see it's a humanoid figure making movement there, and you still cannot see Amon anywhere. You just see this darkened figure moving in the brush. What do you want to do?
I want to raise my crossbow and call out to it. It'd be like, "Hey, who goes there? Who's in that bush? Come out slowly."
Amon, he's yelling at you
Your,
because he
your
couldn't
vocals.
know.
Say
Oh.
something again, Joe. There you go. Say
Yeah,
again.
you cut out.
Yeah,
I was
your
trying
voice.
to. I was trying to whisper at you. What I was saying is he's yelling at you, homie.
Oh, they say that. Shit.
I said he looking at the bush and he didn't know what it was because he got in that one, but he called out to whoever's in the bush and said, "Get
You
out."
didn't point at me and say, "Hey, bro, you might be the one in the bush."
You knew you was in the bush. You said you went out the window to go look for your arrow, and I said it was in the bush. I already described it. That's why we can't have nice things, Jay.
I don't know.
So my crossbow is knocked and ready, and I'm aiming at whatever's in the bush, and I just told it, "Come out slowly."
And you hear, eh?
I pulled out my hand and look around.
I said, "Come out slowly, or I'll fire."
I can't. My dick is out.
Oh, by that response, I know exactly what it is. I'm on. You're supposed
What?
to be on watch. What are you doing
I
back
am.
there?
This rabbit flicked me off. I gotta kill the rabbit. I'm gonna make Mama Jew a stew.
Are you? You're supposed to be keeping watch out front.
You were out front. I was out back.
Okay, well, listen? I saw some things in the fields up front from the tower. I'm not sure if there's anything or not. Can you put your dick back inside and get over here?
And Amon, as he's saying this, you start bringing yourself, you're dusting yourself off. Yeah, sure. And you're looking at Carib, and you're seeing him still just kind of posted in the window, looking at you with his crossbow. And from the other side, from behind the church, you can see like a light getting brighter. And it's at that moment that you hear the ding, 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 ding of the church bell going off, and you hear Amelia screaming as far as someone's here, to the front, ding, ding, and Mama
Get your
June's
ass in here
freaking out.
now.
I go towards the front.
So you run around the house at the front?
Yeah.
All right. So as you are running around, you look up and you see Amelia where she's pointing, and you look down the road as far as the road that was perpendicular, the one where you saw the shadows being cast from Crib. You see a large figure slowly making its way up the street, and you can see that above it there are different things swirling and creating almost like this fire effect above it as it's just
I
walking.
started letting loose arrows.
All right. Fire off an arrow. Go for it.
$17.
17. Sorry. That hits. Roll for damage, please.
9.
9? Okay. So you go in and let loose an arrow, and you watch it smack into it, and you know your aim was true. You know you were aiming for its chest, and at the last moment, you watch as the arrow slightly diverts and barely gets in the shoulder, not doing as much damage as what you were hoping for. And it's at this point that I'm going to need you guys to roll for initiative, please.
We get some fight music.
I rolled a 4.
I rolled a 7.
Oh, wait, hold on. My bad. 12.
Okay, so hold on. So, Crib, you got a 7?
Yep.
Okay. So, starting off the initiative, you watch as Amelia goes ahead, and from the tower, she starts incantating. You're seeing a glow go around her, and she goes and shoots forth sleet full of ice that you see just kind of come through from her hands. Her attack, you watch as again it goes and washes over the entity, and it's almost as if the entity parts it without even moving. You're watching it, and nothing is happening. It gets a little bit of chill on it, and the ground becomes a little bit slick, where it's now having some trouble moving up. And she shouts down, "Something's off about this thing. It deflects my magic." And from there, it is going to be the entity's turn. So it is going to advance 15 feet, which puts it roughly about 80 or so feet away from you, Amon, and about 90 feet away from the church itself. And you can hear like multiple voices coming from it, almost like it's whispering to itself. And that's really all it's going to spend its turn doing. From here, Amon, it is your turn.
I'm going to use my full action to go to 30 feet to catch up to it.
Okay.
And I'm going to let loose an arrow.
Okay. So I put you within 50 feet of it.
Yep. And it's a 9, so I'm guessing I missed.
So you go and pull back, rushing up, kind of wary of what's going on. You let loose an arrow again, aiming for the chest, and this time you watch as one of its chains move. And before, when you saw just it, for the faintest of a moment, you could have sworn there was another entity there, and you watch as the arrow gets swatted away from midair.
Okay, and you said above it was some flames?
There's like this flame that's like materializing in different, kind of like flickering in and out of existence almost.
Oh.
Okay.
I'm going to... I'm going to use my cantrip.
Well, you've already used an action
I
because you
thought
shot the arrow.
cantrip... it's one action.
Yeah.
Okay. Whatever.
But we'll save that for your next turn.
Yeah.
And then so Grip, you're up. So you watch you're still actually in the house, and you hear both Amon and Amelia shouting, and you can hear like some spell go off. But you are still kind of in the back of the house where you were at that window.
Right. So I'm going to rush through the middle of the house. I'll probably have to spend less energy than Amon, since I'm cutting straight through and I don't have to go around. So if I use my
So it's
full
about
movement,
from where you are to like the front door. It's about 15 feet.
15 feet. So that puts me 15 feet in front of the house. Do I have clear vision of this guy by this point?
So once you run up to the front door and you kind of like you can either kick it open all the way or kind of put it enough, you can have visual of him about 70 feet or so away from the front door of the church.
20 feet. Would I be able to call out to him from that point?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I want to get to that point, arrow raise, and I want to call out to him and say, do not come to this church. It is protected. State your business. Turn around and leave.
It is filled with false prophets. Protected or not, we're coming.
Okay. I'm then going to use my action to enact my Crimson Rite.
Okay, and are you going to do it on Mother or are you going to do it on your crossbow?
I'm going to do it on my crossbow.
Okay, and that Crimson Rite does what again, sir?
It's going to enact. It's going to add radiant damage. It's
Okay.
going to add
On your next
to
attack.
Yep.
Okay.
So roll.
Is it an action or a bonus action to activate it?
It is a bonus action.
Okay, perfect.
So using that, so it's 1 hit point. So I'm gonna take off a hit point. Boop. You've watched me as I take out the crossbow. I take my thumb and I run it across the edge of one of the arrows, causing it to bleed, and I run the blood down the middle of the crossbow, shouting, "Ignite and bring light to my enemies." And the crossbow starts to like glow with this little radiant white kind of phantasm light that starts to go around it. And I went ahead and notch my crossbow. That was at 15 feet there. So if I finish my other 15 feet, that puts me at a distance of, how far was he from the church after he used his home?
He was 70, so I'd put you at what, 55? Yeah, 55.
55, so he's just within my attack range. So I'm going to go ahead and use my crossbow.
Okay, take a shot.
20, dirty 20.
Dirty 20? Alright.
Yep.
And so you let loose your crossbow and it sails through, and you're watching as this radiant energy just spewing off of it, cascading light as it goes. And where a chain began moving, you see that as the radiant light comes towards it, it kind of skirts back a little bit, and the bolt lands where it was meant to be, so it notches straight into the joint of its shoulder. It, oddly enough, does not cry out in pain. Roll for damage.
6. 6. Yep.
6 total? Okay.
It's 1d6 plus 2. 6.
Alright. So you watch as the arrow finds purchase. It doesn't react quite like how it has before. It doesn't even make noise when it lands, but you know you got a good strike into it. And so seeing
Quickly call out to Amon.
Yeah.
Hey Amon. It doesn't seem to like light. Radiant energy. Something
Alright.
you're probably not that good at.
I got nothing.
Come closer, I'll help you out.
Nah.
And so hearing that, you watch as Amelia drops down from the tower, which is a good 25-foot drop. And before she actually hits the ground, you see this small, like, icy gust just and stop her fall for a second. And she lands it. She runs off to the right in about 15 feet.
I'm like looking at her like, that's so cool.
She runs off to the right And you watch as while she's running, she is, her hands are lighting up, similar to the light that you went ahead and had. She's chanting, and she opens her palm, and this giant ball of radiant energy with glints of light blue icy flakes are coming off the back of it, and she fires off. She fires off a guiding bolt, and you watch as this radiant ball of energy arcs through, and it slams into the entity. Again, this time it seems to reverberate in its body to where it doesn't want to move. And you watch as... let's just see. She does 4 points of damage to it, and she reaches out, or she exclaims out to you guys. Goes, right now, that's really all the support I'm going to be able to get. The next person that shoots, you're going to have a better time hitting them. And you're watching as now this entity's body is glowing with this light, and you can see that the different chains are beginning to glow, similar to the flexifier above it. Its hood is pulled down low to where it's just fur, and then you can see additional hair kind of coming down. And the rest of it is all torn and tattered. And Amon, though, you can now see with this radiant light illuminating from it that there are 5 additional shadows behind this entity. And with that, it is its turn. So it is not going to be able to do any movement. However, it is going to pull out its sword, and you watch as the sword comes out, it ignites in a sickly blood red flame, and it points it at Carib. And it goes ahead and reaches out its other arm, and it's going to fire off an Eldritch Blast. And this dark crimson blast comes out, and it launches straight at you, Amon. That is a crit to hit. So he is going to hit you for...
Dang it.
So it's going to hit me?
I'm sorry, it's going for Carib. I'm sorry, not for you, Amon.
Damn.
It goes for Carib.
I was kind of hoping it was going to hit me.
And that's going to be 20 points of damage. And this is... I'm sorry. Force damage in total. So you want this deep red sickly energy bleed smacks you square in your chest, and for a moment you feel like you're going to get knocked back, and everything kind of goes black, and you catch yourself as the energy dissipates from you for 20 points of damage. Damn, that was a nasty hit. But that is... and
that thing hits hard.
And that's going to be its entire turn. So Amon, you watch this outstretched hand and this blast, both from Amelia and then one from the entity to Carib, and it's now your turn. What do you want to do from here?
I want to first, before I do any action or anything, I want to say in my head, if you said you were going to be here when I need you, now is the time to show me that you're really here.
Say my name. You can say whatever name you want.
Billie Jean.
Billie Jean. It's not my lover. And Amon, you feel this surge of energy, and it for a moment the entity across from you glances at you, and it turns its head, doesn't really react in a way other than that, and you feel as if just this newfound kind of strength and power. So your attacks themselves, you're going to add additional +2 to them for the next 2 minutes, and any damage you end up doing is going to have an additional D6 attached to it as well. Now, from this aspect, Carib, you're reading back from this hit, and you don't know if it's from the sheer damage that you've taken from the flame or whatnot, but you watch as a similar shadow effect takes over Amon, and his horns, which are normal, just kind of smooth and horns, become a little bit more jagged. His ears become a little bit larger and more prolonged. His face, even though you've been calling him a demon all this time, he's had a relatively normal face. His face becomes more demonic at this point in time.
No, I did not.
Got it. So He looks more like something I would want to kill. But okay, got it.
And
So how far is he from me?
he hasn't moved, so he is still
Because remember, I ran up 30 feet. Oh,
yeah.
in front
So
of
he
everybody.
was 80. So he's 50 feet from you right now.
All right, I'm gonna take an additional 30. I'm just keep going. I'm just gonna keep going forward,
Okay.
and I'm gonna use my bow again.
Okay.
And it's a 7.
It's a 7. That was with your +2 on top of your normal pluses.
No, it wasn't. It
So it'd be a 9 with the
Yeah.
+2. Okay. So it's still going to miss. So you watch as you're not quite used to this new power yet. So you feel the extra strength come back as you draw back your bow and you let it go, but you drew it back so fast that it caused the arrow to go off of its mark. So the entity even have to dodge as it simply just. But its eyes, or it's what you can only imagine are its eyes that are covered, are in your direction still.
You say you want to be. There's false gods there. Come show me who's real god.
I will show you more than that. And Carib, it's your turn now.
Carib's like was knocked down. He's like, that dang, these people hurt. I'm going to invest in better armor. And he pulls out a vial.
The bootleg.
He's
The
gonna pull
bootleg
out-
juice.
He looks at the bootleg juice and he looks at it. He's like, well, this is only going to go one way or another. And he's going to suck down the bootleg juice. One of them. I forget how many I have. I think I have
You bought 3 of them.
3.
So go ahead and suck it down, and I need you to roll me a d6, please.
D6. Roll. 6.
6. All right. So you heal for a total of 8 points of health back. And nothing else really seems to happen. Seems like you got a semi-decent quality potion.
All right. I'll take it. So that would have been my action. Now I have.
Well, that would be your. We'll consider that your bonus action to go and take a potion. We'll say it's your bonus action. So you still have action. Yeah, we still have an action.
So I still have an action.
Correct. Yeah.
And it's pretty much a straight path, clear path between me and him, right?
Yeah, it's a straight. You see Amon over here to the left a little bit, about 20 feet away from it. Amelia's kind of made her way to the right a little bit, just really looking to provide support, but it is a straight line to him for the most part.
Right. And then the carriage is to the left?
Carriage would be to the left and then back about 10 feet or so. Because it was parked on the... She moved it to the side.
Damn it. I was hoping to use the carriage for some coverage. I don't think I can hit him from if I go 10 feet back. He'd need to advance for that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and fire another crossbow at him. I'm going to, move. I'm going to keep my current distance because I can still hit him.
Now, does your right stay active for a period of time, or do you have to do it?
It stays active until I deactivate it.
Okay, so each bolt that you're firing off is going to have that radiant energy. Is there a duration on it?
Lasts while you hold the weapon or until you complete a short or long rest.
Perfect. All right, sounds good.
Yeah. So I'm gonna roll 25.
Oh, that hits. That hits good.
And 3. So 5 damage.
5 damage. All right. So you go and raise up your crossbow with that radiant light going again as you knock in another bolt. You let it fly and finding purchase even better than the first one. You watch as it sinks square into this entity's chest, and its head movement while locked on Amon glances back over to you, and then it glances back to Amon once more. You know it took damage, but for some reason it is really hell bent on Amon at this point. And with that, we're. I'm sorry. Did you want to do anything else?
I'm going to, for now.
Oh, actually, I'm sorry. Can you roll? I'm just going to run this back real quick because Amelia cast Guiding Bolt. So Amon, I'm going to run this back real quick. You should have had advantage on your attack because you were the first one to attack against it.
Ooh, so let
I'm
me
sorry.
roll for the short bow again. 15, 17 actually, because I got the +2 for the shadow thing.
Okay, perfect. So your second one would have hit. So go ahead and roll for your damage, please.
8 and 6 is 14. 14 damage.
Okay.
Because it was an 8, but I get a +6 for the spell.
So you watch as so I'll kind of retcon real quick. Your arrow also finds purchase in its side as it's watching you there. Even with this added strength, you notice that now your arrow, once it hits, is seeping off almost this shadowy effect. And this time you do watch as when your arrow finds purchase, it flinches for a moment before kind of straightening itself back up. And then we'll say everything that still happened on Crib's turn still happens, so it still takes its full damage. And was there anything else you wanted to do at the end of your turn, Crib?
I did roll a 25. I'm going to roll again just in case I got a nat 20.
So for yours wouldn't have the guidance is only for the next attack that hits. So his would have had that one.
Okay. Cool. Just checking. So
That's my bad. That's my bad.
No, it's all good. How far is the door back from me?
Yeah, you're still at the door. You haven't moved.
Okay. So I'm just gonna creep the door a little close. So basically, if the door like this, I'm gonna have it ajar. So only basically my crossbow and my hands are sticking outside.
Okay.
Use the coverage.
Okay, you can fire that way. It is going to provide some, because even though it's closed and you're looking through and your hands suffer out, it's going to make it slightly difficult. You're not going to be at disadvantage, but it's going to be slightly more difficult to hit the creature on your next turn. Next time you go to attack from that position.
All right.
Okay. So from there, Amelia is going to go ahead and she's going to fall back and begin running behind the church itself. And you can hear her, Mama June, get up and get the kids out now, as she's trying to make her way around the church. That's going to be her whole turn. And you can begin hearing noises of Mama June and the kids kind of getting up and just noises inside.
I'm looking back to make sure that I see Mama June and the kids before I put focus back on the creature.
And it's at that time while you're glancing and looking back, it makes its movement towards you, and you see that flaming sword it has in its hand. It reaches it up and begins to strike down. Now, before it comes down all the way, you hear this thing from deep within its gut go ahead and speak out. Carlton, it's your time to shine. And as it's bringing its blade down to attack you, you watch as one of the chains that's been wrapped around it dissipates into this black visceral smoke, and a second appendage with a second flaming arm comes out, and they both go to strike you. So the first one is going to be a 19 to hit. And the second one,
that hits.
That's a natural 1 for the second one. So the first one, what?
When it hits, I'm gonna use Hellish Rebuke. It's instantaneous as I take damage.
Okay, that's fine. So I'm gonna roll for damage, and then let me know what Hellish Rebuke does afterwards. So you are going to take. You're going to take 7 slashing damage from the sword and 4 fire damage, which with your hellish resistance, so you take half. So you get 2 damage of fire instead of 4. So you're taking a total of 9 damage from that attack. So
okay,
go ahead.
Hellish Rebuke is one reaction which you take in response of being damaged by a creature within 60 feet that you can see.
Okay.
You point your finger, and the creature creature that damaged you is surrounded by hellish flames. The creature must make a dexterity saving throw. It takes 2d10s fire damage on a failed, half that on a save when you cast a spell. Yeah.
Okay. So
So
go ahead
you,
and I'll do its dex save, which is a 19.
okay, so you take half of 2d10s.
Okay.
So, and that is you take 5.
5. So that's going to be further halved again because of its own resistance. So it's going to take 3 points of damage.
Oh, some damage better than no damage.
And so you watch Crib as there's a flurry of, you see one arm and the second arm come out. The first arm finds purchase with its blade in Amon's shoulder. The second one misses as he ducks out the way, and as he's falling back, you see him reach out a finger and speak some guttural noise from him as a blast of fire kind of erupts in front of this entity's face, and you hear this guttural laughter. Delightful. And it is now going to be a monster.
And then as I say that, I swing with my sword. We're just going at it. We're just gonna go at it.
Okay. So go ahead and attack with your sword. Go and roll an attack.
7.
The 7.
It'd
All
be
right.
2. It'd be +2, so it's 8. But still.
So as you go and swing back at this thing, it moves out of its way. Again, still laughing, and it goes, "Now, Lilith." And another chain eviscerates from its body, and you feel this. You watch as this blackened claw reaches out, grabs at your wrist, and slings it, and your weapon is thrown 10 feet away.
So I can't even use none of my bonus action means, huh? So you just jump in the head of people's turns, huh?
Yeah, you don't have a bonus action that would counter against
Yes,
that.
I can.
It would not against this.
Okay.
This is a disarming reaction it has.
That's fine. Well, after that, I'm gonna take my channeling action. If you can take a bonus action on each of your turns to dash, disengage, or hide an action. I'm going to disengage.
Okay.
Take a couple steps back. Get out of arm length of this guy with his dissipating chains. And I'm gonna use fast hands.
Well, fast hands would be your bonus action.
No. You can use this as a bonus action granted by your channeling action.
Your cunning action. So you use your cunning action ready to disengage, which takes up your bonus action. You don't get an additional bonus action from it.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So you have moved back. You've disengaged, so it doesn't get an opportunity to attack. Is there anything else you wanted to do? Okay. So from those two things happening, you both now see that the number of chains on it has dissipated from 4 large chains to 2 large chains that are wrapped around it at this point. And Carib, it is your turn now.
I am going to take my bonus action to do yet another one of those potions.
Okay. Roll me a d6. What's that
Sorry,
noise?
he crit me. He almost killed me on that.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, that crit.
Jay, is that coming from your side, that noise?
Another 6.
Another 6? Oh, you get the full, what was it, 8 points? 8 points you heal back? Okay. You get another 8 points.
All right. You just gonna keep healing yourself, huh?
Say again?
You just gonna keep healing yourself, huh?
No. I got one for you.
I'm in the front lines here. I'm in the front line.
He really is.
I'm learning the enemy. I'm learning the enemy. You ran into the fray.
I'm trying to make sure he don't set my freaking home on fire.
I totally get that. All right. So since that was my bonus action, I'm gonna go ahead and open the door a little bit so that way I can get a better, clear line of sight. You're saying that it doesn't really affect me, right?
Yeah, if you open the door, that way because technically if you're trying to shoot your crossbow through the door like that, It just grant you can see them, but there's still that chance of the bolt ricocheting off the door.
I'm gonna open it up a little bit and take a shot. Again, so let me roll my thing here. So 15.
Okay, so that hits. It lands.
Okay. Cool, and I'm gonna roll my
Roll
thing.
that damage.
And that's another 4 damage.
Another 4. Okay,
Radiant.
so this
Continue
one,
hitting him with radiant.
and you again watch as Amon can see these shadows behind it. Every time that radiant bolt hits, those shadows are moving to a different angle to where it's not being touched by that light until it eventually like the bolt fades off from the radiant damage itself. It takes that full 4 points of damage, and it's now looking and deciding where it wants to go next between Amon and Carib. Anything else?
And creep the door back.
It's just peekaboo.
Yep, for right now. For right now.
The most roguish thing a Bloodhunter would do. Like
No. Bloodhunter's preparing his next move.
He's playing the rogue without playing the rogue.
You're playing hide and go seek with a door.
No.
Damian, your gym jar is showing.
No. I'm playing him. Trust me, I'm getting ready for something else that I got to do now. But I had to get my hit points back up.
All right, so
it cost me hit points to use my stuff, so I got to get my hit points up.
This is true. This is true. I forgot about that. Bloodhunters, man, use your body.
Yeah, so you gotta be wise about what you do with the blood you got. It's not like I got an excess amount of blood here.
All right, so at this point you hear Carib, you hear movement of like bumping and movement coming from the room beside you where the tower is, and you watch as Amelia barrels through. She ended up leaping through the window that was on the first floor around the side, and she comes through and she goes, "We gotta get everybody out of here." But she's looking at you, and you are even though you've healed back, you're still looking a little rough. What where are you at right now, health wise?
I'm at 19 of 24. So.
You're 19 of 20. Okay, so she's gonna really quickly run over, and she's gonna like, I don't have much, but this is the best I got. And she's going to do a cure wounds at first level on you.
You have more hit points than I do.
So you're gonna get back 8 health, which will put you back at max.
Yep.
For the guy playing peekaboo with the damn door, you still have more hit points than I do.
And she's like, "We gotta figure this thing out quick. It's magic is bouncing off of it. I'm not sure what's going on." And she goes, "But I have a plan." And she begins booking it to the side window where her carriage is parked. And that'll be her turn. At the end of her turn, Mother June is trying to corral all the kids to get them out. And you see that some of them are crying, some of them they're freaked out because they hear the noises, they hear the spells and the attacks and the noises. And she's really doing her best to try and get all these kids out, but there's just kind of like it's a mess trying to get all them freshly awoken kids out of the room. Which now leaves us to the entity turn, which it now is going to make its way towards the door because it knows that these radiant bolts are coming from there, and it's seen you now. So it's going to take its movement to go ahead and move up 20 feet towards you, which is going to put it at it moved up before. What was that, 55 before? It moved up because it attacked Amon.
Moved up only 10 to get to Amon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I moved 60 feet to get
before 5, so it is now within 25 feet of both you and the orphanage itself. It is going to... And you close the door, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay.
Dude.
He's going to shoot you through the door.
It's okay. He's got to go through a door first.
It is going to begin speaking, and it says, "Come." And I need you to please make a wisdom saving throw, Carib.
Dang it. Wisdom? Really?
You have to beat a 14. I'll tell you what to beat. You have to beat a 14.
It don't matter.
There's a chance. There's still a chance.
No, there's not. It's a 5. It's a 5.
Ooh. So,
Yeah.
Carib, you're kind of still peeking through the door or whatever, kind of watching between Mama June and what's going on, and you just you first hear its voice, but then you feel its voice enter into your mind, and you stand up and you begin walking. You open up the doors completely, and you begin walking towards. I'll say you haven't begun walking towards it, but you open the door, and on your next turn, you will spend your action to walk towards this entity.
And my action, my movement.
Well, basically right now you are essentially controlled by it. So you're going to take your full turn to do what it says, and at the end of it, you'll have a chance to break out of it.
Crappy. If he would have just waited one more turn, I would have came after it anyways.
So Amon, you watch as it speaks this, and for some reason, Carib listens to it.
Wait a second.
Yes.
I have advantage against being charmed.
It's not a charm.
It's not a charm?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Not a charm.
Okay.
It's an enchantment.
Okay. Continue. I'm walking to it.
So you watch as it, Amon, you hear it speak, and you're like, this dumb motherfucker, no one's coming to you. But then Carib listens, and he opens the door, and you just see him standing there about to begin moving. And it is now your turn. What do you want to do? How do you want to handle this?
I talk to the spirit inside me. I need more power. I gotta stop this. I can't let him destroy the orphanage. I have to stop him.
Perfect. Let me in. Let me have control.
Take control.
And actually, Carib, you won't even see this anymore because you're focused on this entity. But Amelia, as well as even Mother June, who's watching through the door, can see that Carib's flesh begins to turn. I'm sorry, Amon's flesh goes from its normal like brightish pink, dull red into a blackened form with some spikes and almost scales kind of protruding different areas. His horns become more pronounced, as well as he grows some additional horns, and his face just is not Amon's face any longer. But you watch as there is this big sinister grin across its face. It doesn't even bother picking up its weapon. It drops its bow, and it is going to take full charge at this entity and attack. It's going to do a dual strike with its claws, which actually, Jay, if you will roll 2d20s for me, please, and add a +6 to it.
Damn.
Oh, they were both 19s.
Ooh, okay.
+6 to each, or just 6 flat?
6 to each. So each of them is an individual attack. So you basically have 25 for both.
Yeah.
All right. Now I need you to
50,
roll.
that's a 50.
I need you to roll 2d10s +4 for each one that hit.
They both hit, so.
So what were the first 2d10s?
20. One of them was 7, but with the +4, that's 11. The other one was an 8 plus the 4, that's 12. So 23 altogether.
All right. So now, Amon, you've given control to Billie Jean, and you can see
She is my lover tonight.
You're getting glimpses of what's happening. Like it's through a very faded veil of what's happening in reality at this point. But its claws are unrealistically sharp and almost glistening with this black and radiant energy. And as it swipes into this entity, you watch as it rips through and flesh from underneath is revealed, and these tattoos that are formed around it are glowing, and you're ripping through them, and the glow on the tattoos are flickering a little bit, and you hear it wincing in pain, like, and it takes the full 23 damage, and you watch as it almost goes down to its knee before catching itself again. But that is going to be, well, that's you. And from after those attacks, you see as the Billie Jean in your body leaps backwards and evading an opportunity attack from this thing about 20 feet back. and it's now staring, and it's still, you can feel a smile on your face from behind Billie Jean's face. And from that, it goes to Carib's turn. Carib,
So
this, yeah.
so I know I have to walk to him. I know that's my action. Can I do any internal monologue?
Oh, sure. So yeah, um, basically, you just know in your mind that, you know what, right now you're obeying this thing. So it's one thing that you're hearing in your head is just come, and so your body begins moving towards it after you open the doors, and you can see what's happening with Amon, but it's not really triggering anything. It's not landing any purchase in your mind. You're just like, oh, not my problem, and you begin walking, and you have what? What's your movement?
30 feet. I'll go right up to it.
Okay. So you go straight up to it, and you stop as it's wincing in pain, and it looks up, and from being this close now and being so low under it, you look up and you can see beneath the hood, and there are these bright, bright sickly teal colored eyes, with like even smaller flicks of flame coming out of them, or energy in general, and it's looking at you in the most twisted, sickening smile possible. And from there, that'll be, you want to have your internal monologue. What's going on in your
I
head?
need. I'm calling out to my higher power spirit guy. I need your help.
Roll me a. I don't know. Can you do a D100 in?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
Mhm.
Roll me a D100, please. Just straight.
Do.
And what is your level? You are level K? Level
We
Level
4.
should be
4.
level 2. Oh,
We're,
yeah, we're all
we're
level
level
4.
4. Yeah.
Yeah, we're level 4.
Okay. Yeah, so roll me a D100, please.
66.
66. Okay. So now I need you to go ahead and roll your wisdom saving throw.
Mm-hmm.
And it's still going to be a 14 to try and break through.
Do. Wisdom. Saving throw. 5.
So as you're walking up, you're having this internal thought like, I need some help. I haven't heard from you in years. I need some help, and you're hoping that it's going to give you even just a little help like it did way back when. And you get up to this creature, you see its face, and you try and shrug off its effect, hoping you're going to get that additional assistance. And it's quiet. You hear your voice, and that voice is once again superseded by this entity's voice commanding you. And that's the end of your turn. So it's back up top at Amelia, and she kind of makes her way. She basically jumps through the other window on the side to where her cart is. She's screaming, "What the hell is wrong with you, Carib?" And she's seeing this entity kind of in front of you, and then she looks over at where Amon was because she doesn't see this transformation, and she says, "What in the nine hells?" And she gets to her cart, and she begins pulling at one of these runes off the side. And she goes, she's yelling at where Amon was. She goes, "I don't know where the hell you are, but I need your cover for just one more minute." And she's struggling with this rune. That is her turn. That's her movement and her action to try and get this thing free. Um, Mama June is floored right now. She does not understand or comprehend what is happening with Amon, what he is, and what is currently sinisterly smiling at you. Um, with all that kind of trying to process, she is frightened as of right now and unable to move. But the kids are screaming and trying to pull her out the back door. So they end up getting her about 10 feet towards that back door. And that's going to be now at Amon's turn. So Billie Jean is still in control right now, and you can feel you can feel him smiling and enjoying this, but you're realizing that with him in control, your vision is with that veil. That veil is getting smaller. I need you to make a will saving throw, please.
A will saving throw?
Mm-hmm.
Wisdom or
Wisdom?
Yeah, we'll do wisdom.
20. Not that.
Okay. So as you're feeling this veil kind of close and you can hear Billie Jean's laughter, you're like, I gave you control, but not to push me out, and you keep that veil where it's at, and you're able to you feel Billie Jean's resistance like, no, you gave me control. And in that instance, you are able to get control of your body once more. Billie Jean's presence is still strong around you, but you have control over the body for this turn. What do you want to do? And it's still in that full.
I want to finish the guy.
juiced.
Go for it.
Juiced.
I'm gonna attack the creature. So 2 20s.
Yep. +6.
Yep. One was a 14, so that's 20, and the other one was a 9, so 9 6.
All right. This time, as
15.
you run up to
15.
it. Okay. It's 15 for the second one.
Yeah.
Okay. So this time, as you run up to it in this form, you're feeling this body for the first time, and it feels great. The power is taking over you. It's almost drowning you. It's intoxicating the way this power feels, and you yourself, the way you felt Billie Jean smile, you're smiling at this entity as you're running up on it, and it realizing you're coming, it knows that you're about to hurt it, so you see it real quick. Speak another phrase, and it says, I'm sorry, ribbon. And one of its chains, instead of dissipating like the other ones, it actually comes forth and expands a little bit. And both of your claws, your first claw will still hit, but your second claw cannot get through that basically protection of extra chains that it did for itself. But roll damage for your first one, please. That's the 2d10s.
So 19.
19 damage?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
That's not adding anything.
Okay, so that's gonna be
roll.
so it's gonna be a +4 then to it. So that's a total of 23 damage.
Yep.
Nice. All right. So you watch as you feel your claw sink into this entity's chest cavity, and you can feel just right below where its heart is beating before you're kind of pushed back from its body, and blood gushes out from it, and blood just trickling from its mouth, and it's being so close to it, and kind of the light that's still fading but still there from the bolts that Carib has sent flying through. You can see that this blood is blackened blood, and it's it does not look great for it at the moment. And then that chain that it had kind of swelled up, protect spells, finally dissipates after it had taken in the brunt force of your second attack.
It's down to one chain now?
It's down to one singular chain, yeah.
But the other two arms are still out? Or those arms dissipated after they were used?
Oh, so that additional arm was just for that use. So after that attack, the second one that was holding the second blade disappeared. But it just has its normal arms.
Okay.
All right. And do you want to try and do anything else, or was that going to be your?
You gonna disengage again?
I'm gonna try to talk to Billie Jean.
Go for it. Try it.
I know you're having too much fun, but I need control back. Finish the fight, and you have to give me my body back. We can make a deal.
You should have made the deal before you gave me control.
I'll just take myself out.
We'll see.
All right.
And from here, that is Carib's turn. So at the start of your turn, because he actually did take damage this time.
Is that a concentration that he's got on?
The voice that you're hearing of him inside your head drops, and you now have that clear vision. You're in your right state of mind again, but you are face to face with this thing and this new, scary, dark, demonic thing that is next to it as well, and you just see this thing gushing blood from its mouth.
Do I have any idea that that's Amon?
No, so you saw where Amon had gotten the blackened horns, but this thing now has extremely demonic horns, a secondary pair of horns. It is slightly larger and more menacing look.
So it is
If
not,
you want,
I
try
can't tell it's one.
do an intelligence check for me.
Bum, 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 bum. Intelligence. Where are you? Yay. 22.
Okay, so you go ahead and call forth that energy that you felt before. Whenever you're trying to ascertain what went into Amon before, and you get that same feeling again, like this has to be Amon, but it's also that other thing. But even more so, that feeling where it shared a kinship with you is also heavily prevalent. It's there. You feel some sort of attachment to it, to even this, surprisingly, this other thing as well. Like there's some shared connection, but you do know definitively that is Amon.
I'm gonna use my bonus action first, and as I'm placing away my crossbow, I'm going to use my bonus action to draw Mother out and cut my tongue with. I cut whatever I can actually cut my tongue with it.
Mm-hmm.
And as I'm cutting my tongue, I'm going to whisper my incantation and apply my crimson right to it.
Okay.
Let me see something real quick. And so I take 3 damage to 1, 2, 3. Boom. Now Mother is ignited. So as I see these 2 demonic figures in front of me, and I get a sense that this is Amon, and I'm like, I'm gonna deal with that later. And I got this other dude who's bleeding in front of me, and I know who he is, so I know he's clearly the enemy. I do a quick little switch because my hands were kind of down as I kind of walked to him. I just kind of holster, draw, cut, and I whisper, Mother, wake. And she ignites with her radiant light across the blade,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm in melee range already, right?
Yeah, you were smack dab in his
Yeah.
face.
So I won't be able to expand her from here. So I'm just going to go ahead and use both hands. Does that give me both hands? Give me my 1d10.
Correct. Yeah,
Or is
that's your versatile feature on it. So 2 hands.
So I'm gonna use 2 hands, and I'm going to slice down at this dude, and right in front of me, with Mother raging in her fire.
Okay.
So that's a 9. But at least she's awake.
All right, so you go and strike, and this thing already beaten and bloodied and looking like it's on death door. It sees this radiant blade in front of it, and you can tell that those electric blue eyes that you were seeing before, they're fading a little bit. They're flickering, and there's a moment of fear where it steps back as that blade goes straight down in front of it, and it smashes into the ground, but it does evade your attack.
Did it disengage in that evasion, or is it still?
It did not. It's still within. It didn't take a step back.
Where was Amon's position at this time?
It's next to it. It's not flanking. You guys are basically like, it's here, Amon's here, and you're both in front of it.
All right. Can I move by not disengaging to a flanking position?
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm going to, as I miss and I saw him duck back, enemy of my enemy right now. I believe that's Amon. So I'm going to just kind of sidestep, take advantage of his movement to stay within melee range, but now get on the opposite side of Amon. So now Amon would have advantage on his next attack or me. Mm-hmm. So we're now flanking it.
Yeah, absolutely. So with that strike, you see as it reels back, and it kind of, for the brief moment while it's freaking out to evade, you catch that moment where it's an opportune time to move. So you kind of follow through its blind spot and get behind it, and it catches itself and is looking around, and it from the corner of its eye, I see you back here with a monster in front of it. That is going to wrap up your turn then. So you did your action, bonus action, your movement to stay within range. From here, it is Amelia's turn. So she is fiddling with the card itself, and you watch as she opens up one of the runes, and almost as if spreading out a blanket, she pulls it out, and the sheet of magic energy almost like solidifies into a clear thing, and she basically puts up a warding shield that goes about 15 feet out, which covers almost to the entrance of the actual orphanage, but it allows anyone leaving from the back potential cover from anything on the sides of it. So she's basically kind of, and she screams out, "Get into cover! I may have something that can help." And from here, it's back to Mama June. So she's finally getting into her right state of mind, and she's grabbing some of the kids and pushing them out. She's at the back door, funneling out the rest of the kids. There's about 3 more in during this time as she's trying to get them out. And little Fatty McGee is still sleeping in the rafters, so she's trying to get his attention now to get him out.
Damn Fatty McGee.
And with that, it's going to be the entity's turn. So the entity, in this panicked frenzy, you could hear like whispering it to itself in a multitude of different voices, and some of it guttural and in moments you can't even understand. You know, if it's the blood, the damage, or if it's just speaking a language you don't quite comprehend. But you see that the furs that it's wearing begins to glow this faint pinkish violet kind of color, and the furs on it stick up, and you watch as there's a brief moment where it's distorting and it's gone. And
fur on him is gone?
The entire entity is gone.
Oh.
And it rematerializes 20 feet back from where you both are. The furs itself that were on it dissipate, so it no longer has that fur, and you can see his hulking mass of a body, tattoos strewn across it. It's grayish skin, large, very pronounced muscles and different scar tissues, and you're now seeing for the first time that those chains are not wrapped around it. The chains are woven in through it. Ooh. And with its final breath, it's trying to gather up some of its blood, and it says, "Sareth." And he watches that final chain begins to ignite itself. And you watch as Carib, similar to your vision that you had, that dream, where it looks like there's different souls, entities starting to congeal and form and contort, and it's moving up into the air before this black spear is formed with flicks of flame that are coming out of it, and it's racking heavily, and it's like, "One more," and that'll be its turn. It's basically preparing at this point, which leaves us to.
I want to yell.
Oh, go ahead and yell.
That's it. Amon, I know you're in there. That's the spear. If that thing hits the church, it'll burn, and there'll be nothing that can stop it.
As he's speaking, I already poked it to him.
So the start of your turn, I need you to make another will saving throw, please. Wisdom saving throw. But this time with advantage because Carib called you by name.
The first one was a 19, and the other one was a 17.
Perfect.
So we're going to go with a 19.
So during all this, while you're having this discussion with Billie Jean in your head, he's like, we'll see. And you hear Carib call you by name, and you kind of remember yourself, and you're like, and you force Billie Jean into the back of your head, and you have full control of the body. You can barely feel his presence, but he's there. You go and rush towards the creature itself, and go ahead and make your attacks.
Okay, so 17 for the first one because it's a +6, and 10 for the other.
Okay, so the first one will hit. The second one will miss. Go ahead and roll for your damage, please.
Okay, so 2d10s. is +4, so 6 and 13. 6 and 13.
Perfect. So, how do you want to do this?
As he's forming and Carib's talking, I'm already running. And I just leap in the air with the claw, and I just go straight down to him. And all I'm thinking about is Mama Jean and the fucking orphanage. The orphans. Just protecting them.
Perfect. So, Carib, you're watching the scene play out, and you watch as there's a moment of recognition as you yell this out to what you hope is Amon, and it looks, and in a moment it nods. You watch his muscles tighten, and it's gone. Before you just see a poof of dust fly from where it was, and next thing you know, just in a matter of moments, it's in front of the entity, and it's rearing up both of its claws into this deadly-looking spin. First one misses, but the second one finds purchase, and just from here, straight down, ripping through, and you hear this guttering scream coming from, you're not sure if it's Amon or this entity. And as the thing is falling, you see all this different smoke and the chains and the body and even the glows on the tattoos dissipate. And from the guttural noise, you hear almost as if whoever this was snaps back and goes, "No! No!" And then the spear flies, and they go straight for the orphanage.
Do I still have my movement next?
You can attempt to make a reaction. What do you want to do? This is going to be split seconds up. With what?
I have the spears. The spear would technically be coming right over me to go to the orphanage. I want to
Correct.
literally whip out Mother and hit and use a 10-foot radius to whip and at least deflect it in away from the orphanage.
Oh, so you want to extend it in the whip form and try and...
Yes. So
okay.
Basically make one big sweeping arch that it would have to cross through. So if I connect with it, hopefully it'll deflect it to one, primarily to the right, because I'm basically doing one big.
You're doing one of the big... Okay. It is going to be high. It's going to be a high DC. Go for it. Roll. Just do a contested...
You can do it.
D20 with whatever your whip modifier is going to be.
16.
16? Okay. Roll me an additional D20, please. Just a straight D20 and give me the number.
12.
12. Okay. So you see you don't know what's happening, but whatever this person was that tried to shout no, you watch as this spear is flying overhead, and you pull the trigger on Mother to release its whip, and as you sing it forward, it wraps around the spear coming through, and you go ahead and tug, and for a moment you feel it's effective as if you're moving it off course, but then Mother slips off of the spear, and it finishes its movement. It has teetered a bit, but not enough, and you watch as it lands right between where Amelia's cart and that warding was, and where the actual orphanage is. And I'm going to need everyone within the area to make a dexterity saving throw that's everybody. So, Amelia.
17.
17? Okay.
30-20.
30-20? Okay. So you watch as from it smashes through and it leaves this crater in the ground, and there's just like a moment where there's nothing happened, but then it's like a vacuum pulls, and then you hear this high-pitched whistle before everything just ignites in this dark crimson red inferno hellfire, and you hear Amelia scream. You see her get thrown across as her cart and the warding tumbles and shatters. You both feel the effects of this wave hit you, and Amon, still in this form, you feel it hit and it pushes you back, but you catch your balance. And as this hellfire is kind of going over you, that energy that Billie Jean was giving you begins to fade off as well. Carib, you feel and you grit your teeth as it kind of, you're recoiling back from this moment that you did with Mother, and this energy source hits you from the back a little bit. You catch yourself and look back. The entire church is set asunder. There's screams, there's crying. You can hear them, and and you can begin to just smell burning and things like that. Amelia is now completely lifeless on the ground, and you're not sure if she's dead or just completely unconscious. And that entity that you're facing just and it dies in front of Amon's feet. With that, combat is over. What do you guys want to do? How are you reacting?
I'm looking for the orphans and Mama Jude. I'm gonna try to see how many. Hopefully none. I'm just searching for my family.
Okay. So
is he completely dead?
you can definitely go and check if you want.
Can I use my Curse of the Fallen Puppet?
Oh yeah. You use Curse of the Fallen Puppet.
I want to use it slightly differently though.
Yeah.
I want to raise him and ask it a question.
I think you.
I can make
I'll
it attack.
allow it.
Use my Arcana. He's dead. Combat's over.
Okay, I'll allow it. You're gonna have to do a very high persuasive check for it because you're not used. It's creative. You're not used to using your magic in this way. You haven't really dealt much with your blood magic, but it's just recently dead, and I'll allow it. So just roll me a persuasion check, please.
Amplify.
I'm sorry. We're gonna do two things.
I'm gonna roll a D4 to amplify it.
Okay.
So can I add a D4 to my persuasion check?
Yeah. So we're gonna do two checks real quick. We're gonna do Arcana first to first make sure that you're along with your puppet. You're gonna have that additional ability, and then we're gonna do the persuasion check. But I'll allow, since you're gonna amplify, I'll allow a D4 to both of those.
So for my persuasion check, it's 14 plus my D4 is 18 because I got a 4 on the D4, so that's 18
Okay.
on the Arcana. And then on the persuasion, damn, my persuasion's -1. But all right, let's do this. So that's 9, and let me add my D4. That's 3, so that's 9 and 3 is 12. 12 on persuasion. So more than a 10, but 12.
I thought for the persuasion was. Oh no. Okay. All right. So you're not sure how it's gonna work, but you're able to manipulate your blood in a way to where it runs through basically keeping the body alive right at this moment of death. So it's still hopefully can get a question out of it. Go ahead and ask your question with your persuasion check that you've done. Ask what question you want to ask it.
Tell me who sent you here. Oh wait, no. Okay, I'm asking a different question. I didn't want to ask that question. I wanted to ask the other question.
Quick. It's expiring. Come on.
Tell me how to stop the flame.
You can't.
Was that you can't?
You can't. I'm sorry. Yeah, you can't.
Oh, shit.
It burns.
Yeah, you should have went with the first.
Do over.
I gave you a do-over.
I was thinking of poor Amon.
So with that, you
and poor Miss Moore. It's okay.
with your question asked, it pushes through its response to its last breath that was still within its lungs, and now it's just a corpse puppet waiting for one final action. During this time, Amon has sprinted. He has jumped over Amelia and any flame or debris that's there, and he rushes to the back where he remembers briefly seeing Mama June and the kids trying to escape through. As you come around the corner, you do see Mama June, who is on the ground currently right now. She is currently, before you even get to her, you hear her. She is screaming. She has, as you see in the corner, she has lost her right leg in this explosion. But more importantly, she's not screaming because of that. She's screaming because around her, out of the orphans that are there, 5 of them are no longer alive. And she's not even screaming for her own pain. She's screaming for them.
you see Amon just stand up. And normally Amon's always the happy one, always goofy, always trying to be positive. You just see him dead cold face. He goes over to the corpse and he starts ripping it apart.
And you hear Billie Jean come in the back of your head. This happened because you were weak. Because you didn't give me control. We could have prevented this. And we'll leave it as that. There is a little bit of doubt that's now seated within your heart, which will come into effect in the future. But Carib, after having this, you hear Mama June screaming. You don't even hear him on. You just see him right now on his knees, completely out of his normal character. And the scene is it's a nightmare. It's a living nightmare. And that's where we're going to end the mid-season finale for Fool's Bounty.
Oh, damn.
Oh, damn.
Let's go.